Marcus. I think we back again. We
Back
back on
again.
that Morton age. That 32,
Yep.
dog.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And hopefully this episode
32.
is just like you, feeling good, feeling great. Feeling great, feeling good. How are you?
Good.
We back again, episode
Yeah.
32. Episode 31 was like maybe the funnest one we've done just because we got to reminisce about our guy like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. It started off kind of like very somber and like I was like, man, this is gonna be kind of a downer episode, but then by the end, dude, it was fun.
Yeah, it
But I
was
think
hecka
that's
fun.
but I think that's really though how like you should like remember people when like you start sad, you have your moments, but then there's that one part that pops off everything, and it's like, oh, okay, now we can laugh at stuff. So
Yeah, you have to, man.
yeah,
It sucks, but you got to think of the good
100%.
stuff. Got to
Yep.
think of the good stuff.
Nope.
Um,
Plenty.
this episode was one that we were supposed to do last time, but we kind of pushed it back because of
Mm-hmm.
circumstances that was happening. Um, today, like, man, I think we're gonna hit a lot of people's nostalgic feels.
Yep.
We're talking about the Mutiny, the
Yep.
AKA the beginning of season 2
Season 2 premiere.
of Mighty Morphin Power
And
Rangers.
I think this was kind of a shift for Rangers in a sense.
Well, yeah, let's give him
Like,
some quick background, Marcus. There was no real definitive end to season 1.
no, the finale of season one
Yeah.
was the episode with when Zach gets the dragon shield.
Yeah, so like
There
it's
was no
cool
like,
because it looks cool, right? But there was
yeah,
nothing that told you that something big was coming.
yeah, there was like no climax to it.
No. No.
It was just like, hey, Zach's asking this girl out finally. Oh, he's gonna take her
Yeah.
on a date. Oh, but he wants Tommy and Kimberly to come too. Oh, and he bought this.
Well, what you're telling is a basic Power Ranger episode.
Yes, it was a
So,
very filler episode. If
well,
let's be
it's
real,
nothing special. Like, go
no.
back and watch it, fans. It's nothing special.
The only
Truth be
thing cool
told,
about it was the dragon shield part, and that was it.
truth be told, um, they should have ended season 1 at Lokar.
Now, see, that's what they were had originally planned.
And they should have
If
stuck with it.
but if they had not been picked up, and
I
because
still
they,
think they should have stuck with it in hindsight, but that's being a Monday morning quarterback 30 years later.
yeah, but it's just weird because like they were unsure, like, hey, we don't know if we're gonna get picked up for like a full season, and like how the reception to the show is
Hey,
gonna
hey,
go.
a full season. We didn't know if we were going to get 53 episodes.
I thought it was like 60 or something. But
No,
yeah,
I think it's like season 1. I think it's like 53.
dude, it's a lot.
But
It's a
think of
lot.
that. It's
And it
like
slowly started
53.
to scale down a little bit for Mighty Morphin. And then what's crazy is then finally once I think it was what even Zio had kind of a lot like an odd
Oh,
number.
60. 60. Super random, right? 60
Yeah,
episodes season. And man, looking back, like that is the most random ending
it
to
is.
a season.
That's it. You're telling me, oh wait, that's it?
So, because of that, Marcus, when we start season 2, it like we said this before we hit the record button. It was like as if it just was another Power Ranger episode.
Well, it was because it was weird. It's starting off like it's a very typical Rangers episode. It's like, first of all, same exact intro video.
Which I like that.
It was cool. Like, don't get me wrong, it was
No,
cool.
I like that because I don't like spoilers.
Yeah, and that's the thing I appreciate that. What was it? Cosmic Fury
Cosmic,
did.
yeah.
Cosmic Fury played that very well, and I'm like, ooh, I like this. Um, so that was
It was
cool.
great for those of us that didn't want to get spoiled with anything.
Exactly, like how they kept adding. Oh, hey, Fern's on the team now. So oh, now she's in the intro as the not just
Those
as
are
Fern,
little
as the
details though that like are actually like a big deal.
well, especially because dude, like a lot of the intro video, like intros, theme songs, like ruin stuff in a sense. They
Mhm.
kind of take like surprise stuff out, or they take the surprise out of things, and it's kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
like
guess
I
that's
wish
happening.
and this doesn't have to do with Power Rangers, but I kind of wish that even movies in a sense almost took that Avenger route of like faking us out.
Yeah. Well, remember, and just because this goes along with it, our homeboy, not our homeboy, but we all loved him, Manu Benet, when he was playing Deathstroke on Arrow, when
Mm-hmm.
he was coming back for that season 5 finale, which was ultimately all they wanted originally with the show. So they were like, the show could end with this because we're wrapping everything up. Everything's coming full circle. And
Mm-hmm.
they were like, ooh, is he going to come back? Because they're going back to Lian Yu. He's there. And oh, there's pictures of the suit. We see a Deathstroke. So is that you? He's like, no, that's not me. That's somebody in a suit. I never signed anything because he's trying to be like, stop ruining stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Things get ruined and there's no like surprises and there's no more of that, oh my god, I can't. And then that happened, like what, like
It's our society. We need it
yeah,
now.
we have to know everything that's going on. We can't be surprised anymore. And that
Mm-mm.
honestly takes away some of the magic of like movies and TV.
Yeah, just entertainment in general, like the spontaneity of something is
Yes.
really what we all crave, which is crazy because like horror films in reality are just jump scares
Yeah. Yeah.
now. And that's what people like love to
Mhm.
go see.
Yep.
But yeah, dude, it was like another normal Power Rangers episode. These guys are riding quads. Of course, the
Hey,
jackets were sick, just the color of the Ranger suit, but
hey,
no one
right.
can
Hey,
tell, right?
they're really like wearing like the Ranger colors with helmets. Like
Yep.
even if like their like jackets don't kind of give off a Ranger look per se, like Zach's, because his was like had a lot of pink on it.
Oh, I thought
But
it was
then once they
purple.
no, his was pink. At least in the back it
Mm.
was pink.
I was gonna
But he
say
had
his
that
helmet
purple
looked purple.
bandana.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
what it
that purple
was.
bandana. Yeah. But
Yeah,
like
which is
he
weird, by the
was
way. That didn't make sense at all.
dude, that has always bugged me about Rangers, by the way. I don't know why. It's always bugged me when they have like their like morphing colors and everything. And they whenever it's the Black Ranger, whenever his like their light shows up, it's always purple. It's not black. Like I get black is a hard thing to like show
I
and
wonder
stuff, I
though too if
guess.
like in their head they're like, well, we used a black light.
Maybe if that's I thought about that like a while ago. Like once I used to think about this, I was like, well, black light is purple, but maybe that's why. But I don't know why. It just that's always bugged me. Like when they use purple like light for the Black Ranger. It's
Yeah, I
anyway.
mean, well, hey, they call black light, a black light, but it's not
Yeah,
black.
but then it's purple. I know. So maybe that's why. But
Then
anyway,
again, but it was super interesting, right? Like they just start off a normal episode, right? Like nothing.
it's
Um,
Rangers doing another like charity event type thing.
but of course they are.
Cause right, like why wouldn't they?
Because
And we're
they're
gonna
good
have
people.
we're gonna have high schoolers riding quads through the mountains on a scavenger hunt. That's ultimately like a race, but okay. All right, Mr. Kaplan. I guess this is the thing that happens in Angel Grove.
I mean, I think it happens in those well-off areas, Marcus. Um, I never rode a quad or a dirt bike in my life. Didn't have it
I
like that growing
I
up.
have ridden a quad before and it was fun. I'd much rather do that than a dirt bike because dirt bikes are very fast and my black ass did not need to be on one. But a quad, I will take that because it is four wheels and stable.
Never been on either one. Never had the
Quads are cool.
opportunity. Used to want one, just couldn't afford it.
Hmm.
Anyways, then we get like this commotion, I would call it, right?
Hmm.
Going on in Rita's palace, right?
Yeah,
This big commotion happening, which was so random.
100%.
It's just like popped up, right? Like, go ahead,
Hmm.
like explain to them in like a quick visual what happened.
So what happened is all of a sudden, like they're just talking about the Rangers. Oh, here they are again, all this stuff. Like she's plotting on trying to ruin their day and how she's gonna screw with them. But then all of a sudden,
Hmm.
here comes a thunderstorm in space. So I guess
Yeah,
so, or sorry, on the moon. So I guess that's like a thing, but whatever, Rangers. Uh and but it's so big that like even on Earth, they're like, ooh, something seems wrong. We should pull over.
yeah,
And like
yeah.
it's like okay,
I
but
always thought that was super interesting that they like right away knew something was wrong, but in my head, I'm like, y'all ain't ever seen a thunderstorm.
right, like which is funny to me, which is like I guess that's part of being a ranger now, like how we were joking like yes in the last episode of like, ooh, you can't go to a park because if you go to a park, you know you're gonna get attacked by putties. So like
Mm-hmm.
I guess now at this point where it's like you live in this world of Power Rangers, just any small thing is basically like, oh, that's something. That's something. Like you're kind of in this constant state of alert, I guess. So yeah, I guess Thunder, which is funny. Think about it. This whole kind of episode arc begins with a thunderstorm and ends
Yeah.
with the Thunder Zords.
Yeah, I know. Spoiler
Thunder
alert.
Man.
30
Yeah,
years. Man, oh gosh, how could you
hey,
do that?
symmetry. I guess that's cool. The English major me was like, oh, I get that.
There was a lot
That's
of play
cool.
on words when it came to this episode, but like
Mhm.
it's cool how right away, like you Goldar knew what it was right away.
Dude, Goldar was all about that. Like,
And he
and he
was
was,
stoked.
which is funny because I think for me that was why. Well, one of the reasons why I think the first big reason why it was called the mutiny, because when you think about it, mutiny is like a betrayal, and he legit who was always like, "Ooh, my Empress Rita, I love you," all always like that. He was her
Now,
ride or die. All of a sudden, he knows Ed showing up. Deuces, you gone. Like
but
he knew.
like I also have some like big questions.
Hit it.
So we've seen the palace,
Mm-hmm.
just what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. The moment he comes in, right? We get this whole new area we've never seen that's like his chamber of command, right?
Yeah.
His chamber of command.
Yeah.
Okay. Never seen it. By the way, huge area. And this palace looks huge when they show it like visual. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, hold up. You haven't been able to go there this entire time?
It's like what it reminds me. It's like, oh, what was it? It was like in that episode of Boy Meets World when they're graduating high school, and Minkus finally shows up again for like he's been gone for like seasons, and he's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Yeah, guys, I was just on the other side of the school," and they
That's
were
what you're right.
they
Yeah.
were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, there's another," and they kind of make a joke like, "Oh, there's another side here," or something like that. Like they just kind of
Yeah.
make that joke like, "Oh yeah,
You're
I guess
right.
hey, we're just using the same set like the whole time, but it's a school, so there's other parts to it, and it's just."
That's actually really funny that you're saying that because you're right. I forgot about that part.
Yeah,
Uh
so I think that's kind of a type thing of what it is, where it's like yeah, there was Bandora's palace, Rita's palace and everything, but the only things we saw was like her first kind of layer part and everything. Finster's workshop, which was kind of, I would say, semi-connected. Um, and then there was just like that sort of like dark dimension place of it, where they kept everyone hidden. That always had that like fog and smoke at the bottom.
what I'm really like that got me based off this like whole season. And by the way, like the introduction of what you can say is arguably the greatest Power Ranger villain, right?
Oh, 100%.
Obviously, they brought him back for this season.
100%.
Yeah. Um, Initial reactions, like when I saw Zed, was I went first off, looks radically different than any monster.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, and this is just facts of how I felt seeing it then, kind of still feel that way now. Um, I got very vibes of he's the devil. Like he's
100%.
ultimate evil.
Dude, that's when I was so as a kid, I used to always think, oh, that must be what Satan looks like. 100,
Yeah, yeah.
and not like because I know they always do the cartoony like, ooh, he's got the horns and the goat legs, and they try to like cartoon and kind of make it cute in a way. I'm like, nah, this is Satan.
Mm-hmm.
This dude right here, that's Satan, 100%. And I will say this: that what kind of now, 30 years later, what kind of solidifies that point of us thinking that's kind of Satan-y is that show Lucifer. There's parts where he will show his true self, and when he shows his true self, he's like kind of just fleshy and like
Oh,
burnt.
I've seen it.
And so it's like, see, that's some Lord Zedd type stuff right there.
Yeah, I watched a few episodes of that season.
Yeah,
That series.
yeah. But
A
I'm
little
like, see,
awkward, but
that
whatever.
to me, I'm like, see, that's some Lord Zedd stuff right there, dude. Like, Zedd
Yeah,
is Satan.
it's just interesting, right? Like,
Hmm.
right away you got the vibe, and two from the reaction of the villains themselves, like the fear,
Hmm.
like, yeah, they would all like get worried when Rita would say she had a headache, right?
Yeah.
Which in my head, I'm like, does she beat y'all? Like, we don't even know.
See, right? That's like some alcoholic mother. Like, oh no, mom is mad. She ran out of her juice. She got a headache. Now she's gonna take it out on us.
But
But now
like, for
here
real
comes
though,
dad handling business.
no, you're right. It's interesting. That's why, like, and then they saw him right away. Everyone was tripping, including her, right? She right away was like, "Oh
Hmm.
man, I don't know about this."
Yeah.
Like she wasn't with it, and right off the bat, he was, kept it real. Like he's disappointed, right? Because
Hmm.
60 episodes, nothing happened, you
Yeah.
know. And so he's like basically gonna try to show her what it does. Oh, real quick, Goldar, like you said, switched up, right? Right
Hmm.
away, switched up. Like heck no, Zed, you my man, man. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You my main man.
I never liked her.
Yeah. And then he got his wings back, and he basically straight up said, like, you kind of cowardly. So let me
Well,
keep these back.
so remember how he like so Goldar knew exactly who he was, but he like, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the comics have done a very interesting backstory to Goldar. And
Go share.
so he has this and the reason why he's like groveling, this is the reason why. Goldar knew who he was, or Zedd knew who Goldar was from the start.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being because Goldar had a brother, and this kind of shows that they were more like they were like kind of gorillas, like alien gorillas in a sense, because
Mm-hmm.
his brother's name was Silverback.
Oh,
And
I've seen heard about this,
yeah,
but go
and
ahead,
they
share with
had a
everyone.
thing where like Goldar or Zedd has a deal between them, like, okay, I think he had Goldar turn on his brother and kill him.
Yes.
And that's where he granted him his wings and gave him his wings. And it was something like that. It was like it, eventually like Zed got in the middle of between him and his brother to make him like one of y'all is going to survive and go on, but
Yes.
not both of y'all. And
Yeah.
Goldar ended up like, and Silverback was, I think, the stronger one, but Goldar just, hey, made
Isn't
that
that
play.
wild?
Yeah.
Like to me, that's hecka
So now
crazy.
knowing that backstory to this and then seeing this again now, like a few years later, it's like, oh damn, like Zed really messing with you, Goldar.
Yeah, like it's a
Like,
trip, right? When you think about all that.
mhm. But how cool is it
Dude.
though with Goldar with wings? Goldar with wings is always better.
Oh, way better. Like
It adds to him 100%.
it's like not even close.
Hmm.
Honestly, So I thought that was interesting right away. He looked like they were afraid of him.
Hmm.
And I do like though how, and this is such a simple thing, right? When you think about it, that he took interest in changing the putties
Yeah.
right away, which is huge, right? Because the putties are an every episode thing.
Hmm.
They're a reoccurring character, right? Every episode, though, not
Hmm.
just like often. They're the ones that get beat up every episode at some point. And I like how he made them his. So right away, you knew they were his. And also, they were like stronger in a way, right? Like right away, they were stronger.
And I'll say this too. This is really interesting. And looking back at it now, I see this more now. The Zed putties with their little like Z on their chest, bro. What does that look like? Right Ranger, right? And his
Kinda.
and it was
Yeah.
almost like a, oh dang, in a sense, these are kind of that's like sort of his like power coin almost. Because remember he
Mm-hmm.
said, I'm gonna power them. And when they found out, hit him in Z, because that's where their powers come from. Which, by the way, watching that first fight of them when they first show up, those Rangers definitely hit them in the Z like plenty of times before before Jason came in and just like I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, all right, but no, it
But
was
like they were getting work like to the point where I think in the episode Tommy's like, I'm losing my powers. Like
yeah,
they're
he
like
straight said
working
at one
him.
point, he's like that dude, like, oh my back. Like Because that's he kind of sees up to. He's like he does his little flip and he comes up. Oh, my powers! It's like
Yeah,
oh my
for
back.
real, you're
Like
right. Yeah, my back.
take it easy on my back, Zed.
Take it easy, dog.
But what's interesting though too, I think looking back now with the putties and especially the second season. So we had our first full season of Mighty Morphin, Saban using that Zoo Ranger footage, but now this is like a they're definitely recycling footage, of course, but they're also we're really seeing a lot of like American made footage.
Mm-hmm.
Like these Z putties, those are American putties. They just took the they just took the face, kept the face of the putty, and put him in a new suit. And it was like, so now we know every time we see these putties, we're gonna get like American fights.
Mm.
Um, so that to me was, and of course with Zedd, any scene with Zedd was gonna be purely American footage. So it's like we're seeing this, and even in this episode, you're seeing a lot more of American footage. So I guess this was kind of like the first kind of test of that.
Mm-hmm.
But then it also makes me appreciate Cosmic Fury a lot more of seeing how far we've come from using like America. Because let's be real, dog. I'm not gonna lie. Watching it, some of this I was like, "This is it. That's what we doing."
Yeah.
It was kind of like we just got to kind of fill time to get to the action sequences so we could cut to these parts.
And that's kind of how they did it, though.
It is. But guess what? It still worked and it still told the story. And then we was don't. I'm not gonna lie. It's not like we weren't still captivated by it.
Yeah, dude. Like that's just kind of what they did. And Zed right away, like it's this is why I did like this episode. We're probably gonna break this up in 2 episodes because I feel like right away he commanded attention. This
Mm-hmm.
first episode, part one, is pretty much all about him,
Oh, 100%.
right? And you know, I think we forgot the part where like he gets rid of Rita,
Yeah.
which I thought was pretty big because she hasn't done any real fighting, right?
No.
Because
Like
she's a witch.
yeah, and I think that was the interesting thing too. Like, I think was it really once and always? Is that like the first time we kind of see Rita fighting?
I can't remember, bro. Like, now
I can't
I
remember.
defer to you a lot when it comes to certain stuff, but like I really can't remember.
And that's the thing. I don't remember that either. And I think that's also a major switch too with Rangers. Because dude, there were times Zed got down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Zed got down, bro. He was about that life. 100%. He was Thanos before Thanos. He was like, y'all ain't getting the job done. Well, F it. I'm gonna go do it. I'll go do this
And
myself. And he
and
was
it's
ripping
like
them.
have fun, y'all.
Uh-huh.
Have fun with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
have fun with
so,
trying to get that smoke.
and I think it's also really interesting too that it's like not only is he getting rid of Rita, but that's like something like the Rangers never did.
Oh
Like
yeah,
they
like
just defeat the monsters, but never the main thing. And that's the thing that comes like later seasons. I think once Zeo finally hits
uh-huh.
with like the Machine Kingdom, and not even that, because that even didn't even feel like a complete ending, really, because they just switched straight to Turbo. So really, we didn't get like a full kind of I don't think we ever actually did get an actual like the Rangers defeat the head villain at the end of the season until space. And
I
that's when
think
they
you're
got
right.
all of them with the Z Wave. Because now it's so common with Rangers, they're gonna face everything is leading up to that final confrontation with the big bad, and it's coming. Unless
Yeah.
they pull a swerve and it's like they get the big bad, like Speed Rescue. We think Diabolico is the big bad, and then it goes from Diabolico to Olympius to Queen Banshira, and Queen Banshira is the real big bad behind everything. But it was like the Rangers didn't even defeat her. Zed just like, I'm getting rid of you, like you out, going back
No,
in this
you're
dumpster.
right. And that's a trip when you think about it, Marcus,
Mm-hmm.
because that I don't know, was she like just too strong for them or what?
I don't know. I don't think we ever even got a thing of them. Ooh, this is our chance to fight Rita. I don't think that ever happened.
No, you know what? She was kind of like that leader that was always ready.
Mm-hmm.
right? She was always ready. Let's see. So they cast her out, bro. She's
Mm-hmm.
gone. Deep space dumpster, which is
Mm-hmm.
funny. Like to me, like the symbolic taking out the trash, right?
Though,
Um,
very good.
and they go back and they figure out, right, the Z emblem on the putty, got
Mm-hmm.
that. But now Zedd's like, all right, man, I am ready to bring out my first monster.
Mm-hmm.
Piranha's head, right?
Yep.
And right away, we find out that like this sets up for what we talked about our last episode a little bit with when Tommy's character arc.
Mm-hmm.
Right away, he can't join them in battle
No.
because his powers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Powers are too weak. Right off the bat, that basically tells us like what's to come, doesn't it? Like it
Well,
tells us like, oh man, like Green Ranger's not going to be like around for long.
he ain't that ace in the hole no more.
Mm-mm.
Like,
At all.
dude, it was crazy too. Like, first of all, Piranha's head looked dope.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
DZ, okay, so I showed you this before. So this is TV guide from literally right before season 2. And this was from July 9th to the 15th
That's
of that
wild.
year, 1994. This is almost a 30-year old TV guide, but this is from the Mutiny. This is what came out. So we got all the Rangers in here.
Does it have a date on there?
Yeah, it says July 9th through the 15th, like up here next to the head. And then
Mm-hmm.
on the side, because I had to tape it because it's old.
July
Um
9th through the 15th, and the
of
Mutiny's first episode was 21st.
of July. So this is right
Yeah.
before. This is
Yeah,
hyping
right
everything up.
before. Perfect.
1994. So then in here,
Dang.
when we go here, you got all the Rangers talking about their stuff and everything. But then boom, Lord Zedd right
Which
there.
that's wild. Like,
And he's telling the whole thing is like yeah, Lord Zedd is coming in and he's worse than her. But then we get all the monsters. There's Piranha's head there, the new Z putties, Goldar with wings, you know.
mhm.
They're talking about all this, which is dope. And this was a big deal. Like they literally got this spread in a TV guide. This was
Yeah,
a
like
The
that's a
mutiny was a
trip.
big deal.
Yeah, that's a trip when you think about it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I guess we don't. I'm not gonna say we don't think about it like that anymore, like the mutiny,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously we have to, right? Zed's still around. Like, even though the season's over, Cosmic Fury is like the most recent. Zed's still a thing.
Zed was the big bad. He was the intergalactic, you know, which is
He's
crazy to think too, because it's like they kind of nerfed him in a sense.
mm-hmm.
It's almost like the way he got like I felt honestly, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I felt homie got super disrespected in Zeo. They had homeboy running from the Machine Empire.
Yeah, yeah, like which is crazy because I thought he was so powerful, but
Exactly. And that's I think kind of the problem Rangers have in a sense sometimes, like when they have these teams that stay around for a while, like the villain should be increasingly more and more powerful. Like, but it's also one of those things where it's like you build up like this is like the strongest thing ever until the next thing comes, you know?
yeah,
And
it
it's like,
makes me wonder though too, Marcus. Like they're serving masters, and we've said
yeah.
this in like quick passing in a previous episode, I believe, but like Zed was almost too scary for people.
Oh, that happened 100%. People
Yeah,
complained.
yeah, like
Parents complained.
and when we give a crazy deep dive on just his character, where we cover all the stuff from the comics and stuff, but like in short, there was complaints.
Mm-hmm.
And when there's complaints that happen, that affects revenue.
Exactly.
So the moment that happens, of course they're going to make a switch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to switch it up on us. Um, I didn't like it, but what do you
Well,
do, right?
that's
Like,
why we got Rita back.
yeah, looking ahead, right? That's
Because
why we
when
got
you
Rita
think
back.
about it, let's be real. When did Zed like soften up? Once Rita came back, and
Mm-hmm.
then they get married, and all of a sudden Zed's Jewish.
I know.
Then
I
we
know.
found that out.
Out
Like,
of nowhere.
how was a intergalactic? Okay, I guess that works. But they're playing Hava Nagila, dog, and he over there just mm,
Dun,
mm.
dun, 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 dun.
Dude, he just getting it. Like, all right. But like, that really softens Zed. But then let's be real, it brought that power duo of Zed and Rita.
So Piranha's head comes.
Mm-hmm.
Rangers right away. We're gonna get our dinosaur power on. And I thought like this was a beast move to do for a villain right away.
Mm-hmm.
Freeze them.
Bro, looking back, homie didn't even attack the Rangers,
Nope. Mm-mm.
just their Zords.
Yep. And that was a huge blow if you think about it, because that was like their main source of like
Now what y'all gonna
power.
do?
Yeah,
What y'all
what
gonna
y'all
do
gonna
now?
do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do with all that junk?
You gonna come hit me with your little like blaster, your power blaster? Cool. Guess what? Brush it off.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Like think about
no,
that.
like
Right
homie
away,
told him straight up, like, nope.
he took away like their ultimate thing, and they were shook.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were shook. And I get it, right? From like a character standpoint, like this is what we use for everything. This is what
Mm-hmm.
wins us all our battles against Rita, right? And they were shook, man. I feel like this is a good jumping off point, because what we're gonna dive into next is really then like the rest of what this like part was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and close this out, part one. Um, if you're following us on Instagram, I believe, give me 1 second. Ooh, okay. So we will have decided a winner, right? We'll
Mm-hmm.
have decided a winner by the next time this comes out on the first.
Yeah.
All right. So you're gonna want to keep liking, commenting. I see we're getting a lot of comments here
Mm-hmm. We are.
going on. And keep doing that. And then, we're gonna post the giveaway. Somebody's getting that,
Somebody
right?
getting that Master Morpher dog.
Somebody getting that Master Morpher dog. And I'm excited about it. Um, Marcus, let him out.
All right. It's your boys. It's Richard. It's Marcus. Ain't no mutiny here. Ain't nobody losing our powers over here. Why? Because we Rangers of the Grid. And we got it grocery bag.